Hello, and welcome to a webinar on beliefs. We're looking at beliefs, just basically where they come from, and a couple of tips on how you can actually change your beliefs. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Do you think that women should have the same rights as men? Should children be seen and not heard? Is it possible for someone to rise from the lower economic class to the highest in a lifetime? Is climate change real? These are all examples of questions that actually start to look at your beliefs about equality, your beliefs about child raising, your beliefs about class structure and economic structure of our society, and your belief about the actual climate. Hello, my name's Sharon Stanford and I'm a transformative kinesiologist. It means that I believe that we never destroy energy. We only create more in an ever-expanding universe. And if we are experiencing anything that is negative in our lives, we can't just get rid of it. We have the power to transform it into a powerful asset. Everything is just different sides of the same coin. So who am I? I live in the Northern Rivers area of New South Wales. This beautiful place right in the mountains. And I live with my partner, 3 dogs, a cat and a bird. This is my oldest little dog here. And the pieces of paper that make me look important, well, I've got 25 years involved in the alternative healing industry and a corporate background as well. I'm qualified as a kinesiologist and resigned from working for The Man about 5 years ago. I incorporate almost 30 years of priestess training and spiritual theosophy into my offerings. I run one-on-one programs of excellence, and pretty soon we'll be getting to see a couple of group programs. So let me tell you a story about a red Porsche. There was this guy, and he goes to bed of a night time, and every night he visualizes that he's going to have a red Porsche. And in the morning he does his affirmations, he does a dream board, he goes and does courses, he studies Abraham Hicks, he does everything that he's meant to do in order to manifest this red Porsche. And he does this faithfully every day. He even goes down to the Porsche Centre and gets in a Porsche and runs one for a test drive so he knows what they look and smell and touch like. He's doing everything right. One morning he wakes up, he looks out the window, and what does he see in the driveway? A red Porsche. How excited is he? And then he stops. The red Porsche is in his actual neighbour's driveway. The reason why? Because although he has done all of the work he can on manifesting and aligning his beliefs and energies with what he wants, his underlying belief is, everybody else can have it but me. So your beliefs are quite important because they will stop you from getting what you want. Your beliefs are displayed in habits. No, not these type of habits. We'll leave the nuns alone. Habits are a regular behaviour that is recurrently repeated. And a habit is also considered to subconsciously happen. The person showing habitual behaviour is often unaware of his actions, such as that guy with his red Porsche. He didn't know that underneath he believed that other people should get things and not him. And so he had a habit in his lifetime of actually almost creating and other people getting it. We have a habit loop. Number 1 is our cue, a trigger that sets off a habit. You might be bored at work. The routine, you automatically react to the cue, such as you eat cake in the afternoon. And the reward is the benefit you get from engaging in the habit, such as momentary satisfaction from sugar, the fat, the texture. And if the reward is positive, then you want to repeat the action the next time you perceive the same cue. Eventually, this forms a habit. Now, I go deeper than this because this is just on the very, very surface of, yes, eating fat foods makes us feel nice. But I would actually go a little bit further on the habit loop and say, when you're bored, what happened when you were young and you were bored? It could have been that whenever you were bored, school holidays, sitting at home on the weekend when it's rainy, your mum used to bring you food to eat. Chips, cheesels, something like that. And it made you feel good because your mum was showing you love by giving you this food. Later on, when you're bored and you're feeling like, oh, I need something to give me that heart connection, in comes the food. I'm going to tell you a story about chickens. See, there was this woman, and she says to her mum, this little girl, and she says to her mum, "Mum, why do you cut the legs off the chicken and put them in separate when you're baking?" And her mum said, "I don't know. My mum's always done it." So she went to her grandma and she said, "Grandma, why do we take the legs off the chicken when we go to bake them?" And her grandmother said, "Because my mother's always done it." And so she went back to her great-gran and said, "Great-gran, why do we take the legs off the chicken when we cook them?" And her great-gran laughed and said, "Because when I was first married, my oven was very, very small and it wouldn't fit a whole chicken in it." So sometimes our beliefs and our habits come from places where it was okay a long time ago, but it doesn't serve us now. So let's go a little bit deeper. A habit leads to a reward. So what is a reward? A reward is a payoff that results in the confirmation of a belief. What is a belief? A belief is a piece of information that you believe is true and upon which you base your understanding of the world and your behaviours. So a habit leads to a reward and a reward leads to a belief. But the habit actually is a piece of behaviour that you do that confirms the belief, and then you start to go into this cycle. So what is achievable in your life is based upon the beliefs that you give yourself. This is why mindset, what you believe, is so important. Our beliefs become our thoughts become our words become our habits become our values, and our values become our destiny. So how do we change these beliefs? Interesting, isn't it, these two circles? There's truth and there's belief, and when they meet in the middle, there's knowledge. So what's this saying? This is saying that our beliefs are not founded on 100% truth. It's telling us that we know some of the story, and from some of the story, we create our beliefs. But beliefs are not facts. They are what we believe in. This is really important because we have people in our world, and we do it ourselves, that have a really strong belief about something, and yet we look at this person and we say, but hold on, that's not the full story. If you knew the full story, you would believe different, and that person will say, no, this is what my belief is. We are like this. Our beliefs are not the full truth. Our beliefs are only based on part of the truth that we've been given or that we find ourselves. One of the things we can do to change our beliefs is to talk it through. I call it the as-if technique. So what you do is you talk through a belief as in, what would happen if? So I might have a belief that if I become really successful, I'll be really busy. And so I say, well, what would happen if I become really busy? Well, if I become really busy, I'll have lots of people pulling on my time. So what does it mean if I have lots of people pulling on my time? Well, if I have lots of people pulling on my time, then I don't have enough time for me. Well, what happens if I don't have enough time for me? If I don't have enough time for me, I'll burn out. What would happen if I burn out? I would get sick and I would have to stop doing the thing that I love. So my belief is that if I become successful, that I'll end up burning out. So talking this through finds the actual belief. And then I can question it. Based on the previous thing, is this true? Is my belief based on truth or only partial truth? And what would be the real truth? So how do you change your beliefs? Mindfulness is a great technique. Your body is right here in the present. Is your mind here? Most people sit in the present, look at the past to reference what's going to happen in their future. But you can't tell what's going to happen in the future. You can only intelligently guess and predict. You can't be 100% accurate because it hasn't happened, and the future won't happen until it's your present now. So if we go back to that example I gave of beliefs, in the past, I've been very successful and I've also burnt out. So when I hit success now, what I do is I look at my past and go, success means burnout, and I project it into the future and say, I'm not going to be successful because I'm going to burn out and get sick. So I had to change this belief, because our beliefs will become habits. So the only thing that screws up are our limiting beliefs that we don't investigate. So pay attention to the words that you're using. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. If I say to myself, oh my goodness, I've got all of this work this week, I'm just going to burn out, I've got no time for me, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have time for me. I'm not going to have time for me, sorry. So what I could say to myself was, look at this amazing week. There is enough time for everything. What I tell myself is what I believe. Journal my experiences, journal your experiences, and review your journal. Don't just write a journal, but go back and have a look at it. And I often suggest using highlighters. Highlight your limiting beliefs and highlight your expanding beliefs. Find out what it is that's triggering these beliefs, and you'll have it in your journal. Have honest conversations with your close friends and stop taking things so personally. Really, nobody's out to get you. They really aren't. It's very rare that people are attacking you. Honest conversations with your close friends, people whose opinions you actually respect, or your counsellor or your kinesiologist or your therapist, having those close, honest conversations, that's where you find your beliefs. And forgive yourself. Beliefs are usually based on things that we've been taught when we're young, that we expand upon as we get older. So it's not your fault that you had these beliefs in the first place. Forgive yourself for holding them and then move on to change them. Alter your course of action when you see this belief, this habit happening. Alter it then, not later. There's this really wonderful thing that happens with diets. Diets always start on a Monday morning and they break by Monday lunchtime. And then there's another week of I might as well eat what I want so I can start again on a Monday morning. No, you start your diet now. This is where you change your eating habits to something that's healthy. This is where you change your course of action, mindfulness. You change it now. You can always alter a ship now. To alter it later takes a great deal of effort. Or you could come and work with me, because I'm very, very good at finding your beliefs. So you have a number of things to do here. Pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. Journal your experiences and review your journal. Have honest conversations with close friends and stop taking things so personally. Forgive yourself. Alter your course of actions. And if you get really, really frustrated, come and work with me. If you wanted to find me, you can email me at sharonstanford.com. You could also look at my website, www.sharonstanford.com. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sharon Stanford Transformative Kinesiologist. If you're in Australia, my phone number is 0420 220 485. So if you want to get to the bottom of your belief issues that are sabotaging you, give me a call, because we'll get to the bottom of it together and it will be amazing. Thank you very much for watching this recording.